there's a topic that I've been wanting to talk about, but I've been timid to talk about it, and that's the whole ebooks versus printed books thing. Now, let me first express that I don't have any issues against digital printing per se, unless if they foolishly try to stop actual printed books out there, published printed books. But the medium of digital books I don't really have an issue with. But it is true that I am more biased towards towards the printed book, and always will be. There's something very special and intimate and private about a printed book. The feel of it, the texture of it, the smell of it. A digital copy to me just can't express that. I know to some people they like digital copies because it's much more convenient, and there's nothing wrong about that. But because there's so many of these conversations about versing the printed book with the ebook, I just want to say that will never truly happen. The reason why is because, how do I put this? Well, I don't like to talk about this much, but it's true. It's because of money. Here's the thing. A digital book is a copy, and any copy is worthless, especially when there's dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of copies. I mean, if there's a plethora of copies, endless copies, the value of those copies are worthless, unless someone can transform it and make it into something new and valuable again, or unless the original copy itself is lost and the copies are all we have left of what the original source material would have been like. That's the only way the copy will have any value. And thanks to the digital copies, which all printed ebooks are, they're just digital copies of books. And I will admit some ebooks have started out being an ebook first. But eventually I think everyone will go to the printed book at some point. The reason why is a couple things. One, the printed book is the much more artistic, visual thing. Let me put it this way. It's true that you can create art digitally nowadays, but it will not change the importance of actually painting on an actual canvas with actual paint. The power of like the canvas is very much the true with a printed book. For a printed book, it's a writer's canvas, if you will. And the whole design of it and the art of it, not only on the outside, but especially inside, it creates a value to everything. But the truth of the matter is, the reason why the entire issue of ebooks versus digital books never will hold up is because the printed book will always be more valuable. In fact, it will be worth a lot of money. Let me give you an example. In 2000, there were 3 copies of the Furtz Folio. These were plays of Shakespeare, mind you, that are privately owned. They're sold in 2001, and the value of it was $6.1 million. Now compare that to any digital copy of a Shakespeare play, and you got nil. So yeah, the printed book will always hold. No one in their right mind will ask a question about an important written document, let's say the Declaration of Independence. No one will go and say, hey, we got endless copies of the Declaration of Independence. Why don't we put the physical copy in the shredder and throw it away? Because we don't need it. That's never going to happen, at least if people are in their right minds. So you see, the printed book will always be there, and the printed book will always have value. Especially with works that are written by much more recognized writers, or much more recognized novels, or so on and so forth. So in the end, the printed book's never going to die. You can't kill it off. You can't. The value is in the printed books, not in the copies of printed books that are digital. And there's nothing wrong if you make a digital copy of work, even first, but in the end, I still bet that a first printed copy of a digital work will still be more valuable as the printed copy than the digital work. The reason why is because of the amount. If I haven't mentioned this already, if you have an endless amount of copies, it has no value. But if you have like the closest thing to original and they're very rare and very few of them, that will always be more valuable. It's sad that the only way books will live is because of money, but that's the fact. And at least books will live because of money. The value of first editions of the original source material of any given author or work will always outweigh any possibility of ebooks trying to take over. And I just want people to stop making this question and almost argument that really not only has no point, it's going nowhere.